Councillor Innes.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I like to think that I've got my feet firmly on the ground, and that's one reason why I stood for council, was to do that and bring a lot of experience to the table. And I'm looking around and I see two previous mayors here, and they're nodding in terms of what you're saying. In terms of addressing the motion that we have in front of us, I see that one of the most critical elements in what we're looking at relates to economic development. And economic development is something that as a council we have discussion about, and it's something that it's sometimes can be a little bit nebulous. It's something that we try to grasp hold of. But we actually know that if we don't have economic development in this city is going to suffer significant problems. And just to be totally realistic, just have a look around the central area at the moment. And I'm not trying to overemphasise this. I don't want to introduce scare tactics, but just take a look. Just walk around and have a look, and just see how many empty lots there are within our central area at the present time. There's a change happening, and I've seen the change happen elsewhere, where you've actually got a change of businesses starting to move out of the central area, and you've got the effects of internet. And what we're seeing is a totally different pattern starting to take place. And what I say to you is, when I look at the report that staff have prepared, and in looking at that, one of the key aspects, and one of the reasons why, when looking at the matrix, we actually got a high score in this area related to economic development. Like, if we don't have economic development, if we don't have business, if we don't support business, we don't have viability.
Point of order, Your Worship, the economic development was not part of the matrix that was used. That was not one of the items on the matrix. It was looked at the benefits in terms of coming from the Whangarei. So what I'm saying is that there's diversity. We need to look at diversity, and this is one project that we can look at in terms of providing some diversity to our central area. And when we look through and look at the other aspects in terms of the matrix, they can come out in terms of sense of place. And when we have a look at the report in front of us that's been prepared, the other aspect of sense of place. And we know how important that is in terms of the Hatia Loop and the real advantages we've had in terms of the Hatia Loop. And when we look at the other projects, Harborside and AMP, they have interesting components within them. And I support the motion that's currently there, because it's not about this or that, but maybe it's about having components of the Harborside and AMP. And I think that it provides us with a solution that we get a stronger sense of place. And look how successful the Hatia Loop's been. And who would have predicted that? Coming into the council chambers most days, looking down on the Hatia Loop, it's full in the morning, it's full at night. It's being used. It seems to me that we can actually start to build that. We can start, if we had the Whangarei, for example, it's bringing, if we just thought about it, it's bringing tourists into the city. We've got a hotel there. We've got visitors actually walking around the Hatia Loop. And then we're starting to look at a Whangarei. Actually, Whangarei, north of Auckland, it's a 2-hour drive. And it's really, what we need to do is put away a lot of the preconceived ideas we have and start to look at the Whangarei in terms of the economic benefits it will bring to the city. So in terms of that, I'll be supporting the motion that you have in front of the council, Your Worship. Any other councillors wish to speak?
Sorry,
Councillor Williamson.
Your Worship, this proposal is about economic development. And I know that pains some people to recognise a internationally recognised, renowned environmental artist and an architectural doctor as economic development. That's not what a lot of people think art and culture is about. It's not something that people want to pay money for. But the reality is, people recognise special places as where they want to visit. And as a consequence of that, that's what we are seeking to achieve with an iconic building as a component of a very significant development that's gone on over the last few years around the town basin. You know, we as councillors struggle with the idea of economic development. We have put faith in our staff, they understand it, but it's obvious from a workshop we had last week that we sort of talk about words like encouraging jobs and looking for prosperity and having a clear vision, but we don't drill down to it and show a complete understanding of what we are talking about in economic development. And yet we have one of the single most iconic economic development projects staring us in the face. And because we don't necessarily understand it, like everybody understands it, some of us are reticent about grasping that opportunity and seeing it for what it is. I know some councillors said in terms of relating to Hunter Weiser, I'm not that interested, I want to see private money in it. Others say, I want to see the whole picture. Well, we've had fun. We've had the alternative, and we've got private money in it. And that makes it something that we should be able to have a vote of confidence in relation to, and not get bound up as the only projects we do are infrastructure projects and sports fields. If we are blind to the best economic development project that has ever come before this council, we will get what we deserve. If you think about it, the 450,000 visitors that are projected is a Kiwi, New Zealand, Samoa test every fortnight. It is a Rugby World Cup every month. It's a FIFA Under-20 World Cup every month. Every month of the year we have what is expected and reliable. Let aside what people will pay to go into it. It is the people that come to us and see what we're about that are important, because that creates our economic development and the jobs that surround it. I want to identify with Whangarei message, and I was surprised to see in my mother-in-law's papers when she died 3 years ago some newspaper clippings from Whangarei's death in the year 2000. I was surprised. They used to live in Kalakara in the late 50s, but I was absolutely surprised to see these cuttings. And it describes his funeral, and it describes the thinking that Whangarei actually brought to his philosophy. He talked about, this is his eulogy, I changed sick houses into humane houses in harmony with nature. Good God, we've got a 12-year-old vacant building down there, which is, because no one wants to go in there, is obviously sick, that we have got the potential to be able to change into something humane, not just humane, but joyful, exciting, and something that's going to be a catalyst for every other economic development project around us. And he talked of his toilet. They encouraged, Kalakala encouraged Whangarei to build a toilet. And he said at its opening, he died 2 months after the toilet was opened. And he said at the toilet's opening, it is only a toilet, but it should show that even small things can bring root beauty into our lives. And those are the sort of statements we should be holding on to. I've actually read this book by Malcolm Rand, one of our leading entrepreneurs. He's probably buried in Auckland now, but Malcolm Rand is a Kiwi entrepreneur, and it says on the front there, from a garage in Northland to a pioneering global brand. He's got an eco-village out in Matapori, which he started in the 80s. In that eco-village, he talks about in his book that he has a composting toilet developed by Frederick Hunterwasser. This is in the 80s that this guy, who has now an international business, took as a signal to start his business. How can I create a business around sustainability? And that's what we are talking about here. Now, I want to just finally talk of, I bought a Hunterwasser print 2 weeks ago. It was on trade me, cost a couple $100, came out of the house in Remuera. And Mark and I didn't have too many arguments when we got it as to where it should go. It should go in our bedroom. There was nothing, no other art there. The message on it, I'm not going to go into more detail than the but the message on it was imagine tomorrow's world. It was painted in 1999, the year before he died. Imagine tomorrow's world. That's what I go to sleep on and what I wake up to every morning. Imagine tomorrow's world.
Thank you, Councillor.
Councillors, we need to be thinking of tomorrow's world. We need to build it. We need to imagine it. We owe it to our children to do it.
Thank you, Councillor Williamson. Any other councillors wish to speak? Councillor Herman.
The delaying. Thank you, Your Worship, and look, my fellow councillors, I'm speaking to you today about an opportunity of significance to our district that we might never see again. I'm speaking for the Hunterwasser Whangarei proposal, but the Mayor's amended proposal works for me. I have always said that there is room in the inn for all. What are we here for? We are not here for our personal agendas. This is not about us. This is about our people. We are here to make decisions on behalf of our ratepayers. We need to use prudence and intelligence to get good outcomes for our people. We need to be fiscally responsible. Our district faces many changes, many challenges. Unemployment, job opportunities, if things like this could be created in our district, do you think our community would say no? How can we even consider turning down $10 million? Is this what you think our community wants? No way they do. They want us to accept this gift. It is now backed with a 10-year underwrite from Prosper North, and I am humbled with gratitude at the leadership shown by these people. Whangarei has absolutely nothing to lose. I have engaged across the community lately. I have talked to people from all walks of life, and this is what it's about, and I've learned this from our brothers and sisters. It is about people, it is about people, it is about people. I have talked to retired people and busy professionals, many families with young children. They all implore us to accept this gift. The reasons they give, they talk about revitalisation. They talk about the need to live in a progressive town. They want their kids to have opportunities here and to return to live here. They want to talk, they do not like to see the empty shops, and they do not like the word zombie town. They talk about how the Whangarei Hunterwasser proposal gives them hope, and they talk about how devastated and shocked they were when the proposal was turned down last time. They use words at us like beg, beseech, implore. You've all had these emails. What dreadful words these are. These are words of disempowerment and helplessness. These are our people. Do we want them feeling like that? It is in our guiding hands, this opportunity. One of the correspondents was from the New Zealand Listener. I hope they come and do a story on this. Those poignant emails would make a tremendous reading. There is evidence that ratepayer support is now overwhelmingly strong. Now that the Hunterwasser Whangarei is sourced outside of ratepayer funding. We all received Jan McGibbon's letter from the Growers Market. She talks about 80% support of the markets. on Saturday, and almost 100% support from the under 40-year-olds. That's what we've been saying. So what other issues could be brought to bear here? I hear talk about maintenance of the building and copyright, and I hear talk about the WAM Trust. Let's talk about maintenance and copyright. I discussed this with Ian Reeves, who went off to Vienna, and we talked about the copyright, and Ian said, if a tile falls off the building, what do? You call a tiler. And maybe those tiles are sourced from our own potters here in Whangarei. And maybe there's a whole lot of people in Whangarei who are part of the growth of this building. As for maintenance, it's built into the funding model. This model is meant to make a profit. The profit could actually run the whole of the art museum. You don't turn down business opportunities like that. I hear mumblings about the WAM Trust. I have met all those trustees, and they are entrusted to look after our district's art treasures. We still entrust them to do that, but these mumblings, they are some of the finest people in our district, and their chairman is one of the finest people I've met for a long, long time. There is a call to demolish the building. This is an absolute travesty. There is a strong connection between the Huntavasa Wairau proposal and the Hihiawa Cultural Centre. They enhance each other, they are mutually supported, and indeed they are essential to each other. When Te Whare spoke of this in the chamber recently, I heard the hairs on the backs of people's heads were standing on end. So impassioned was his speech. The Wairau Maori Arts Centre will have works by such giants as Shane Cotton, Lisa Rehana. These artists hang in New York and London, and now they will hang here for us, for our people to see. How often does that happen? And the building with the Huntavasa art will hang here for us. You don't need to travel to Vienna, you don't need to travel to New York. How many of our people can do that anyway? It will be here for us. I plead to you all, on behalf of the artists and the architects, the business people, the Knights of the Realm, the Wairau Maori Advisory Panel, the Hihiawa people, Te Huinga, the teachers and the pupils who have contacted us, the 66% of schools in the TTPA Principals Association, the Board of Trustees of the Whangarei Boys High, the cruise sector, Tourism New Zealand, our local tourism people, the Chamber of Commerce, the accommodation industry, the thousands of responses that we've had to the Yes campaign, to the thank you, to those gathering, those who, the people who were who signed the petition from Saturday onwards. We now have a number of 1,365 people who have signed just in the last few days. Let us fly together, councillors, with this amazing opportunity. Let us vote together for this motion, this win-win, because it makes room for everyone. And Whangarei, not only us, but everyone in New Zealand will love it here. Thank you.
Mine will take about 30 seconds. The silent majority are the voice that Councillor Cutcliffe has talked about. The new proposal, I say again, isn't new, it is a bunch of empty promises. Of the 53%, 43% must admit they don't want it here for whatever reason. Forget about the financial impact. Why have we not listened to our people?
Councillors wish to speak? Councillor Glenn.
Yeah, I'd like to take another opportunity just to briefly speak. If our people want us to accept this gift, which we've just heard, why then is there the fear of a binding referendum? Because that is the only way to find out if our people want to accept this gift. Because we have a very pro-Huntavasa action, we have a very anti-Huntavasa. And maybe it is 50-50 now, maybe 60-40, maybe it's changed, the dynamics have changed. We're living in the past because we have no actual proof of today what our people are really wanting to say. It depends who you talk to, depends which group you belong to, as to what you want to say, like we've heard in here today. And that is why I will continue to vote against every motion that has come forward until the motion comes up that says yes to a binding referendum. And that way, we will hear from the 60% of the people that want this, and they will have every right for this to proceed. And we will gladly accept that, whether we're pro or anti, because the people would have spoken. That's what I want to see. So, you can all be... No, I won't say that, so just leave that there. There is so much good stuff that I've been hearing about our city from all of you. You've been going on about how great we are, and I agree with you. We have the greatest rural little city in the world. We seriously do. But that's fine. But we need our people to feel that same way. And if we don't take the people with us, it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. And right at this point now, it's all about half of us in here love something, half of us in here hate something, and we're sticking firm. And we're not budging. Even though natural justice is supposed to apply, we're supposed to be open-minded, I haven't yet seen one from either side change sides. And that's been the whole year. And I don't expect to see that at all. And that is why I say that without the vote of the people, the incompetency of what goes on in here will continue. And I am part of that, and I'm including myself when I refer to the word incompetent. Because we're inhumane to each other most of the time. We need to fix this. I don't want to do 2 more years of what we've had to put up with in this last 12 months. It's disgusting, to put it mildly. It is a disgusting way to treat humans. Really it is. As I've said, if we don't take the people with us, we've missed the point. There's this absolute fear that if we actually do a referendum, one side's going to lose. And that is the truth. One side will lose. But at least we will know for a fact what is a fact. Right now, what we've got in here is what you might call a fact from that side and a fact from this side. But it could be all hogwash from either side. How do any of us know? We can all push something that sounds really good to how we want and how we feel. That's the easy job. I want the truth. And to me, the only way I can get that is by a referendum. And that's our next motion coming up. And that is the one that I am supporting. So I have to vote against this because of the lack of discipline, the lack of clarity, the lack of fairness to the people in our community. And I'm sick of the sobering run. I am sick of it.
Councillor Martin.
Yes, I have a question. Unfortunately, you came here today expecting to talk about the Harbourside proposal and maybe some of these others in here that have put all the work into it. We've morphed into a Whangarei argument again, which is most disappointing for all of the others. Nobody has spoken on behalf of them. But anyway, the agenda item that was sent around said, in view of the high community interest in these projects and the complexity of comparing their relative merits, it is recommended the following options: Harbourside and Whangarei Art Centre, and demolish the building. That's what the agenda said. And now we've got another one, which we were elected to on the air, I must say. But we haven't rescinded the one we moved last time. So we can't move another one until we've rescinded the one from last time. We still have a recommendation on the books. Just occurred to me, actually. So we haven't rescinded the one to stop doing it, and now we're going to have another recommendation.
I'll clarify that, Councillor Martin. You'll see that my recommendation is that the Whangarei Art Centre is proceeded. That's a different project to the one that was ruled to be removed from the long-term plan. I see no reason to have to rescind the previous motion. Thank you. Any other speakers?
I'll move the motion be put.
I was going to say.
That is a procedural motion. How many speakers against have we had?
3 against. We've had them.
It's only requiring 2 actually.
Anyway.
Are there any other councillors who wish to speak? Councillor Morgan.
Excuse me, point of order. Are you ruling the procedural motion on the table? There's been at least 2 speakers from each side of the debate. I've made a procedural motion that means the debate ends because of the vote.
I'll take advice on that. We have had 2 speakers for and 2 against, which allows me a right of reply. Because there has been a procedural motion. So my right of reply before putting the procedural motion. I beg your pardon, do I put the procedural motion as to be put? Yeah, so the motion will be put, but I do have a right of reply. The questions, for me, I come back to the fact that we can have both. This is not an either-or situation. Councillor Glenn, we can have both. It doesn't have to be somebody one side losing. In this situation, the proposal that I put forward means that we can have more than just one proposal go forward. In our matrix, the assessment was as to whether or not the project would be a catalyst for growth. Whether you describe that as economic development or not, I would say that it does. And we assessed all of the proposals against whether or not it had a catalyst for growth. Today, I do believe we owe it to our community to make a decision. I know that there's a motion that will be put with regard to a binding referendum. I don't believe that that's what our community wants. Decision time, folks. I will put the motion.
Madam Chair, it's been called a procedural action because I still want to talk, and that is lost. I then can have a talk.
Thank you, Councillor Christie. So the motion, procedural motion that the motion will be put, I will put that motion. Those in favour?
Division, please.
Division has been called. Those in favour?
Could you clarify, please?
I'll clarify. I'm putting the procedural motion that the motion be put.
Councillors Bell, Deeming, Bretherton, Martin, Glenn and Hulse and Cutworth.
Those against?
Councillors Morgan, Williamson, McLaughlin, Herman, Christie, Innes, who worship the Mayor.
It's 7-7. I'll use my casting vote to vote against that to enable the councillors who indicate they wish to speak to speak. It's lost.